If you've ever seen people getting stacks of books at 66 Books Warehouse and thought, how does that actually work? This is the video for you because I'm going to break down everything about it. If you're new here, I'm Jess and I read and review thriller books and share the ones that are actually worth your time and your money. So I am always on the hunt for more affordable thriller books, and 66 Books Warehouse has been on my radar for so long. I think I've been wanting to go for about a year at this point. So I actually went in the middle of August and I went on a Sunday, bright and early. We were there at about 7:15, and this video is everything that I've learned and found out from going there. So if you're planning a trip, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more book content. So I've wrote down a few questions and I am just going to go straight through them and answer them. So the first main question is, what actually is it besides books? So 66 Books is a working warehouse, meaning that they sell to wholesalers, trade buyers, places like that. You can't access it as a member of the public unless it's on the set days they have their book club open. These are the dates. If that didn't focus, I'll put a photo up here as well. So it is essentially a wholesale warehouse for schools, trade buyers, wholesalers to buy books, and they very kindly open it up to the public for 2 weekends every month, so us book lovers can get all our books at 70% off RRP, which is lovely. So it is open 2 weekends every month. Just looking at this bookmark, they are a bit random. So some months it's the first and third weekend, some it's the second and third. So have a look on their website and their Facebook page just to check when they are open. And also on their Facebook page, on the days that they're open, they have like a running live updates with the queue times and how long it's going to take to get in and how much parking there is, which is really, really helpful for planning your trip. So they're open 2 weekends every month, and I believe it's 8 AM till 6 PM. I think the last entry is about 4 o'clock because obviously the warehouse is huge and it takes a lot of time to get around there. Another question I've had a lot on my socials is, what time should I get there? And honestly, I don't know if there is a perfect time to get there. Everyone seems to say to go on Saturday mornings because then they've had deliveries on the Friday, so they'll have the better books. But I don't think this is true because I went on a Sunday and I got there at 7:15, as I said, and I still managed to get 10 books. Like, basically this whole shelf is what I got from 66 Books. Most of these, and then this 2 books here as well. And then Onyx Storm down at the bottom. Even if you go on a Sunday, there's still a really good selection of books, and they don't have necessarily all the brand new releases. The selection is wild, so you can't really go in with a list. You have to kind of see what's there on the day. So I would recommend either arriving at maybe 7 AM so that you're in the first, second, third batch of people that's let in, or arriving about 1 or 2 PM when the initial morning rush has gone. That would be my 2 suggestions. If you live further away, I'd suggest getting there Friday night or Saturday night and getting a hotel the night before. When I looked, they were about £25 if you split it between 2 people, so £25 each for a hotel isn't bad. There was a Travelodge and a Premier Inn nearby, so just your basic hotels, but for one night they tick the box. Another question I got asked a lot is if there is parking there, and this one is really important. So they had about 20 car parking spaces, I want to say, but they are really, really narrow spaces and they fill up really, really quick. So when we got there, I think there was about 5 spaces left, and that was a Sunday morning. So if you want a parking space, I'd say get there really early or get there quite later on in the day. There is parking nearby in like public car parks, but you have to pay for them. And I would not recommend parking on the grass verges because they're actually double yellow lined, and I have seen people online get parking tickets for that, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. The next question is, how much are the books? So they are all 70% off the RRP. So what I was doing when I was there was I was just looking on the cover, seeing what the price was, and then I was on my calculator finding out what 70% of it was. If it's a paperback, most of them are going to be about £2.70 to £3. And if it is a hardback, like this one, Business Trip, that was RRP 20, so I think I paid £6. And Witness 8, I believe that was 14 or 16.99, and I paid about a £5. So they are really good prices for brand new books, and I definitely appreciated the discount. Another question I've been getting online is, how many books can you buy? And I'm not sure if there is a limit. I only got 10 books. I saw people there with tote bags and trolleys with 20, 30, 40 books. So I'm not sure there is a limit, but obviously only buy what you actually need. Don't just buy things because they're there for the sake of it, is what I would say. Especially if you're like me and your TBR bookshelf is already full. Next question is, are the books new? So the books are in brand new condition. Like you can see on this one, spine is in perfect condition. It's just brand new books as you'd expect them to be. But in terms of popular new release books, I would say no. Don't tend to have new release books. There are like public wholesale warehouse. I don't know how they choose what they stock. There are the odd kind of book talk books. So for example, I found Onyx Storm in there. Still think I was really lucky with this. There was only 6 on the shelf. So there are the odd popular books in there, but I wouldn't go there with kind of a book talk recommended list. I would go with a list of your favourite authors. You have something to look out for. It's kind of what I did. Say John Mars, Sue Watson, Steve Cavanagh. They were all kind of authors I was looking for because I know and love their books. You kind of go with that attitude to it. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I think a lot of people go and think that all the books are going to be brand new book talk books, but they're really not. You've got to be quite good on what you're looking for, kind of look up and down all the shelves. Which leads on to my next question of, are the books arranged by genre or by author? And honestly, I don't understand how these books are arranged. So when you go in, you grab your basket, you go up the stairs, and you're met by the children's books. Now, I've seen some people say they've got kind of YA books mixed in with that as well, but we didn't actually really look in the children's book section because we just thought, we're not here for that, we're not going to look. And then along the next wall, so you've got kind of stacks going this way, and then you've got the main wall along there. So along there was kind of crosswords, word searches, the odd colouring book, and you've got the rows going this way. On the other side, you had some big tables, and we kind of saw these as kind of like the dumping yard, as what books people decided they didn't want, they just chucked them on the end table. But actually, from what I've seen, if you're there Saturday morning, these are where all the kind of good books are, so they're kind of the ones they've got limited quantities of, I guess. I can't say if that's true or not, because it looked like it was a dumping yard when I went, so I can't comment on what they've got on Saturdays. So that's the upstairs. You kind of start in the children's books, then you kind of move into fiction. You've got the odd romance, thriller, fantasy, mostly paperbacks upstairs. And then there are kind of just random like pop figures. There's an aisle of pop figures and kind of board games, jigsaws, things like that. And they've also got a wall on this side which has got more stationery, notebooks. There was a book tracker as well, which was really cute. And then you go down the stairs and you're in the cookery book section at first. It's got a similar layout. It's got lines this way and then 2 main walls. And then on that wall, you've got kind of non-fiction books and biographies. And then going this way, you've got loads more fiction books. I think this was where I found most of my hardback books. That was where I found these 2 and Onyx Storm. But it was kind of a mix, so I found some thriller books upstairs, some thriller books downstairs. You really have to look everywhere. Like, the shelves are so tall, you have to proper stretch your neck. So it's a very good neck exercise as well, going there. And the final question is, do they have aircon? They do not have aircon, but downstairs they have got some big fans going, which are really loud, but they do keep the air circulating, but it can get a bit warm there, so I'd bear that in mind, kind of wear cool clothing and bring a bottle of water with you. And then some other final tips that I wanted to share would be, look everywhere. Look on the top shelves, look on the bottom shelves. I found the business trip hiding on the bottom shelf. If I didn't look there, I would not have found that. Some books there's only like 5 copies of, so you have to proper look and make sure you're looking really well. And sometimes I found they were double stacked, so it would be one book would be at the front and then behind that would be a different book completely, so you kind of have to look around each stack to check you're not missing anything. As I said, on Saturdays they have the big tables which seem to be with popular books, but I can't comment on whether that's true or not, because to us it just looked like people were just putting books on there they didn't want. They did have some little trolleys dotted around which seemed to be just like stacks of books people decided they didn't want, which I actually quite liked, because then you could just look through and see if there's anything you'd missed, and I think I did find maybe 1 or 2 books that way that I missed going around the first time. And if you have time, I would suggest going around twice, because it is humongous and you will find things you missed the first time. I can almost guarantee it. And one final thing to be aware of is they have quite limited phone signal in the warehouse. I don't know if this was just my phone network, but I was trying to get on Storygraph to see if the books I'd spotted were part of a series or not, and I had a really hard time trying to get any signal. So that's just something to be aware of. I didn't look if they had Wi-Fi, I didn't think of it at the time, but that's just something so you're aware. I think that wraps up my 66 books FAQ. If you've got anything else you wanted to ask that I didn't cover, drop it in the comments and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more thriller book recommendations and reviews.